Welcome back to the Brand Builders Lab podcast. We are at episode 400, which I cannot believe that I'm saying. But we started this podcast such a long time ago, and I have loved being on this journey with you. And for those of you who have been here since the beginning, or where you've sent me a message saying, I've listened to every episode, I just want to say how much I value you and appreciate your dedication and sharing that with me. And I really hope that the Brand Builders Lab podcast has helped you to find more confidence, to grow your business, to create the things that you really want to create, because that is why I show up every week and share this with you. Now, the reason that I have called this episode Made for More is because there are so many people, I'm going to say people, men and women out there who have a deep desire to create more, to build more, to be more, to give more, and they're struggling with that. And so I really wanted to have a honest and deep conversation with you about that today. And if you've ever felt that way, I just want you to know that it's possible for you to go after, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you've been in business, whether you're new, whether you've been in business for a long time, you can still go after the things that you're wanting to. Now, my second book, which yes, I have finished, we're just in the process of working out the best way to release it and get it into your hands, is around this topic. And one of the things that so many clients have said to me, there's two things, is I know that I'm made for something bigger. I know that I can share what I have in a bigger way with more clients, make a bigger impact. And on the flip side of that, a lot of people have also said to me, why me? Like, why would anybody listen to me? Why would I be the person that does this? And so there's this huge desire for impact. And then there's also this little voice, and sometimes it's not so little, that kind of sits in the background saying, but who are you to do this? Why would anybody listen to you? And today I kind of want to really unpack those two things. Now, the first thing is, if you've ever had the thought, why me? And you've ever had the thought, who's going to listen to me, or I don't have what it takes even though I want it, then if you've listened to this podcast for a long time, you will know that your mental fitness, your ability to manage your mind and understand that voice is not you, is the first thing. And I totally get that there is sometimes a worthiness element connected to this. And I've been speaking with a couple of my clients lately about that, as in, I don't really feel worthy to do this. And my question to them is always, where does that voice come from? Who is that voice? Because if you're not feeling worthy, then somewhere along the way, somebody has potentially made you feel like that, and you're carrying that with you now in the journey that you're in. And so if you ever don't feel worthy, I really want you to think about whose voice is it that you're listening to, who is coming up for you in that way. And when we can really recognize where that voice is coming from, then we can choose to deal with it in a way that's going to work. Now, one thing I'm going to say is that I'm a coach, I'm not a therapist. And so if there are things you need to deal with from the past, then getting support with that so that you can work through it, so that you can understand where it comes from, is so important. But just acknowledging that it's there is the first thing. The second thing, and I was joking around with somebody about this the other day, but have you ever named your negative voice? Because when you name it, then you're allowing it to be separate from you. So when I was growing up, my mum always used to use the phrase, don't be a negative Nelly. So my negative voice, I call her Nelly. And when she says, I don't think you can do that, or I don't think anybody will come, or I don't think that's going to work, I'm like, Nelly, shut up. Can you just shut up? I don't need that right now. I want to believe that this is going to happen. So I don't need your negative voice. And it's really interesting. I know it's a little weird. I know it's a little crazy, but when you really do the work to separate your negative thoughts from yourself and you name her, then you can call her out or him out or them out when you're having those thoughts. And I remember years ago, I actually did a lead magnet. It was a training and it was about the different personalities that you have, where when I really need to get something done, then my project manager comes out. When I'm feeling a bit down, then I try and bring my cheerleader out. When my negative voice comes out, I put her back. And when I really need to show up in a much bigger way, then I have an inner diva. And one of the things that we do within Brand Builders Academy in the mindset mastery element is to name your diva. Name your diva, tell me who she is, how can you tap into her? And so I think that when we are really managing our minds and we're trying to do big things in this life, then we have to be able to tap into different elements of ourselves that we know are going to help us to achieve the things that we really want to achieve. So number one, name your negative voice. Number two, name your diva. If that helps you really recognize that she's there and available to you. You can name your cheerleader or just acknowledge that you have a cheerleader, you have a project manager, somebody who's your getting it done mode, somebody who's, yes, we can do this, let's go. And so I bring my cheerleader out when Nelly shows up. It's like your devil and your angel on your shoulder. But when you want to go after big things, you've really got to assemble your team. I just had the Avengers assemble image in my mind, where you've got to assemble your Avengers, your team, to be able to execute in a much bigger way, because you are made for more. You were made for more. If that voice is inside you, you have to listen to it, because you don't want to get to the end of your life, to the end of your business and think, I wish I had been braver. That is not what you want to be thinking. You want to think, I gave it everything that I had. I took the risks. I put myself out there. I managed my mind even when it was hard. I weighed through the unworthiness that I felt, if that's something you experience, and I gave it my best shot. And can I just say, there is going to be times where you're not going to be in that place, but if you can always be coming back to it and coming back to, I know I can do this. Yes, I can move forward. I'm going to work this out. This is going to happen. And you keep moving forward. Then at least you know that you gave it your best shot, that you showed up fully and you did what you could to achieve your goals. And if you achieve them, amazing. And if you get close to them, amazing. And if you just keep working to get better at who you are and what you do and the way that you show up, then that's also amazing. I think sometimes we've just got to readjust our definition of success, because I think I've shared in the past that for me, it's always been wanted to be the CEO of big organizations, wanted to have status, wanted to have a lot of money, all the rest of it. And it's not that those things have changed, but they've shifted. They've shifted into what my life is now and what that looks like in the current world and in the current state of online business and what it is that I want to achieve. And for me, it is still very much being in rooms with incredible humans who want to achieve more, who want to really have that scalable impact that I talk about all the time when I talk about amplify, is being able to take your message out to the world in a bigger way and share what it is that you have. So if you feel like that, then my question to you is, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do that's different to what you're doing now? What are you going to do in 2025, which is when this is being recorded, where you're like, this year, I'm going to shift things up. I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to call myself out on my own BS. I'm going to stop hiding. I'm going to start playing bigger and going after the things that I want. And so even right now, I'm planning for a live event, and Nelly keeps saying, it's not going to work. You're not going to get the numbers. And I just have to deeply believe and know that I will do everything in my power to make my dreams The things I want to do with my clients are reality, and I'm not going to let any negative voice stop me from doing that. And I just want to keep doing that. And I want it to get bigger. And I want to impact more people who have got big dreams and goals for themselves. And so you've really got to think about, how are you going to start shifting the risks that you're willing to take, the things that you're willing to invest in, even when it's a stretch. Like right now, I'm investing in myself and it's a stretch. It is a big stretch. But I'm backing myself and I'm doing the work and I'm showing up and I'm using all the resources that are available to me and I'm creating. And if you don't feel like you're moving forward in the way that you want, then you've really got to sit yourself down and have a little talk, because you don't want to get to the end of this year and feel like I left it all on the table. You don't want to get to the end of this year and feel like another year's gone and I still haven't gone after the things that I wanted. I'm not even saying achieved all the things that you've wanted. You've just gone after it. And when I reflect over the last few years, I was having dinner with a girlfriend the other night and she just said to me, I don't think I've heard you be this clear and driven for a while. And I have to admit that after 2020, 2021, 2022, like the last 2 years have been more of a struggle. The energy hasn't always been there and the clarity hasn't always been there. And now I feel so focused and so aligned with what I want to do. And also just tapping into like my old energy of just being somebody who's super driven, somebody who's super ambitious, somebody who wants to achieve big things. And really making sure that I'm saying, what is it that I want to achieve? How am I going to do it? Let me get the support that I need. Let me take the action that I need. Let me move forward and make things happen and back myself. And I think that's one of the biggest things is, are you backing yourself or are you constantly second guessing and doubting yourself? Are you going after the things that you want, or are you going, oh, that'd be really nice, but maybe next time, maybe next year, maybe that's not for me, even though I really want it. And the last thing I just want to share with you in this very special episode is that there are people that are waiting for you to share what it is that you have. And I think sometimes we just think, oh, it doesn't really matter. No, nobody cares. But I just want you to think about the people who've had a big impact in your life, the people who you listen to on the regular, the people whose ideas and thinking and energy have really helped you to achieve different things in your life and in your business. And I want you to think about, imagine if they just decided not to show up. And you could be that to somebody else. When you show up and you share what it is that you have, when you share your thought leadership, when you share your energy, when you share your products and services and how you help your clients, there are people that are waiting for you. And one of my beautiful clients, he's in the US and he knows that there is a big community that don't have a leader. There's a big community that he wants to serve where there isn't anything for them at the moment. And I think sometimes we think that, oh, if I don't show up, it's fine. Like, I'm sure they'll find it somewhere else. But the thinking that I want you to have is that if you don't show up, there are going to be people who are not going to find what they're looking for, because you're the person that's supposed to impact their life. You're the person who's supposed to share your incredibleness, your knowledge, your passion, your expertise with them. So don't think, I'll leave it to somebody else. This is your opportunity to show up and create something incredible for your audience and create the scalable impact that you really want. This one is a short one, but hopefully it speaks to you if you are somebody who knows that you're made for more. I want to let you know that you are worthy of the things that you want, that you are capable of creating the things that you want, and you just have to learn to back yourself. And remember, as one of my very first clients, Julia, said, my desire to succeed is greater than my fear of failure. And I really want you to take that away. I really want you to ask yourself, if I wasn't afraid, if I didn't have this fear, if I didn't doubt myself, what would I do? And then I want you to think of all the reasons why you should do that right now, this year in 2025.